Appealing from a magistrate's final judgment in a civil case in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. A presentation of the Allegheny County Law Library. Copyright 2021. Warning about your legal rights. Self-represented litigants are held to the same standards as attorneys admitted to the bar of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Representing yourself does not exempt you from understanding and following statewide and local rules of court. For your protection, be sure to verify that you have met all up-to-date requirements by contacting your local county court administration. Source: www.pacourts.us, retrieved 07/06/2021. Disclaimer: no two legal cases are alike. The information in this presentation is not intended to be used as a substitute for advice from a licensed attorney and may not be appropriate for your situation. No attorney-client relationship is created between the ACLL or its staff and any party viewing, reading, listening to, or otherwise making use of the information in this presentation. For assistance with finding an attorney, you may contact ACBA Lawyer Referral Service, 400 Coppers Building, 436 7th Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15219. Area code 412-261-5555. Email lrs@acba.org. www.getapittsburghlawyer.com. Introduction. This presentation is about the process for appealing from the final order of a magisterial district judge in a civil lawsuit for money. In Pennsylvania, a magisterial district judge is sometimes called a magistrate or an MDJ. Topics include certain Pennsylvania and Allegheny County rules of court, locating and completing legal forms, filing forms, and serving process on other parties to the case. Contact information for the ACLL is at the end of this presentation. Note: this presentation does not cover every topic related to appealing from a magistrate's final judgment. For example, it does not discuss cross-claims or counterclaims and how they may affect an appeal. It does not discuss criminal law cases or landlord-tenant cases. It only discusses civil lawsuits for money that are not landlord-tenant cases. Abbreviations and symbols used in this presentation. ACLL, Allegheny County Law Library. DCR, Department of Court Records, sometimes called the Prothonotary. MDC, Magisterial District Court. MDJ, Magisterial District Judge. The party icon consists of a cream-colored oval with red writing. It tells you who needs to fill out a form or section of a form. The red calendar page icon draws your attention to a deadline. The caution traffic sign icon draws your attention to information that you must be very careful to understand. The red elephant icon draws your attention to information that you should make a special effort to remember. The pink diamond icon indicates an instruction for filling out or understanding a form. The red star icon draws your attention to a piece of information. 1. The courts. A magisterial district court, or MDC in Pennsylvania, has jurisdiction to hear civil lawsuits where the amount in controversy is not more than $12,000, excluding interest and costs. For more information, see 42 Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes Annotated, Section 1515A3. Costs include interest and filing fees. When the rules of court require a sheriff to serve a legal paper, the sheriff's fee is also included in the costs. See Pennsylvania Rule of Civil Procedure for Magisterial District Judges 206B. If the MDC is in Allegheny County, appeals from the decision of the Magisterial District Judge, or MDJ, are heard in the Civil Division of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. These appeals are normally placed on the arbitration docket of the Civil Division, so people often say that the case is in arbitration. 2. The parties. The party that is suing is the plaintiff. The party that is being sued is the defendant. There can be more than one plaintiff in a case, and there can be more than one defendant in a case. The red elephant icon appears on this slide to notify you that you should make a special effort to remember that for appeals from Magistrate's Court, the plaintiff in Magistrate's Court is also the plaintiff in arbitration, and the defendant in Magistrate's Court is also the defendant in arbitration. The party that files the appeal is the appellant. The party that the appeal is filed against is the appellee. A plaintiff can be an appellant. So can a defendant. Some steps in the appeal process are only followed by defendants. Other steps in the process are only followed by plaintiffs. Finally, there are steps that must be followed by all appellants, whether they are plaintiffs or defendants. If the plaintiff and the defendant both disagree with the magistrate's final judgment, they are both allowed to file appeals. These are called cross appeals. Cross appeals are not discussed in this presentation. 3. How do you know if a magistrate's decision is appealable? An MDJ's decision is appealable if it is a final judgment. When the MDJ hands down a final judgment in a case, they serve a notice of judgment/transcript on the parties. The MDJ or a member of their staff usually serves the notice on the parties in person before they leave Magistrate's Court. Sometimes the MDJ serves the notice by mailing it to the parties. The notice of judgment/transcript will have a date of judgment. A party who disagrees with the final judgment may appeal it in the Court of Common Pleas in the same county where the Magisterial District Court is located. 4. Rules of Court. On this page, you see an image of the cover of the 2021 hard copy, print copy of the Pennsylvania Rules of Court Volume 1 State. These are the state rules. The Allegheny County local rules are called Allegheny County Civil and Family Court Rules. You can see the image of the cover of those rules on the right-hand side of this slide. Hard copies of the rules are available in the ACLL. URLs for locating the rules on the internet are on the next slide in this presentation. To locate all the rules governing the appeals process from an MDJ's final judgment, you need to be aware of 3 different collections of rules of court. They are the Pennsylvania Rules of Civil Procedure for Magistrate District Justices, or PARCP-MDJ. These are sometimes called the Minor Court Rules. You can locate them at www.pacodeandbulletin.gov. They are also available in the ACLL. The second rules collection that you need to know about is the Pennsylvania Rules of Civil Procedure, PARCP, available in hard copy in the ACLL and online at www.pacodeandbulletin.gov. The last set of rules that I wish to draw your attention to is the Allegheny County Local Rules of Court, or LR, available in hard copy in the ACLL and online at www.alleghenycourts.us. Other resources at the ACLL: a complete set of Allegheny County arbitration fill-in forms, and the publication, Arbitration Practices, Allegheny County Civil Practice Manual, 13th edition, also available online at www.alleghenycourts.us. Please note the caution icon on this page. Caution: this presentation does not discuss every court rule that governs appeals from an MDJ's final judgment. If you are pro se or representing yourself, you are responsible for knowing and following all the rules of court, including those that are not mentioned or discussed in this presentation. 5. Where to obtain legal forms. The MDJ court may supply you with some of the forms you need to file an appeal. The DCR also has certain legal forms. You can fill in and print some forms online at the Pennsylvania United Judicial System website, or www.ujsportal.pacourts.us. In some situations, you will need to draft, meaning write or type using your own words, a document yourself. ACLL ACLL staff may be able to assist you with locating legal forms. If you need to draft a document, ACLL staff may be able to help you locate an example of a similar document. In order to appeal, the appellant needs the following. 1. A copy of the notice of judgment/transcript from the Magisterial District Court, or MDC. 2. A notice of appeal form. 3. A filing fee, or a signed informa pauperis IFP court order if unable to afford the fee. 4. A complaint. Only plaintiffs need to file a complaint. The red star icon on this slide draws your attention to the fact that for information about filing fees or about applying for an IFP order, you may contact the Department of Court Records at 412-350-5729 or visit www.alleghenycounty.us. Any party has the right to appeal within 30 days after the entry of judgment by filing a notice of appeal with the Prothonotary/Clerk of Court of Common Pleas Civil Division. You must include a copy of this notice, a judgment/transcript form, with your notice of appeal. Except as otherwise provided in the Rules of Civil Procedure for Magisterial District Judges, if the judgment holder elects to enter the judgment in the Court of Common Pleas, all further process must come from the Court of Common Pleas, and no further process may be issued by the Magisterial District Judge. Unless the judgment is entered in the Court of Common Pleas, anyone interested in the judgment may file a request for entry of satisfaction with the Magisterial District Judge if the judgment debtor pays in full, settles, or otherwise complies with the judgment. Section 1 of this part of the form and transcript contains the date of the Magisterial District Judge's signature. If this date is not the same date as the date of judgment on the top half of this form, contact the Magistrate's office for instructions. Section 2 of this bottom half of the form contains the Magisterial District Judge's signature. Here is the Notice of Appeal form. On this slide, you see the top half. We'll look at the second half, the bottom half, on the next slide. The official name is Notice of Appeal for Magisterial District Judgment. This form is available from the Department of Court Records or Prothonotary's office in any Court of Common Pleas in Pennsylvania. It is also available at www.pacourts.us. Again, the party that decides to appeal from the magistrate's judgment is the appellant. An appellant must file their appeal in the Court of Common Pleas in the same judicial district where the Magistrate's Court is located. Most Pennsylvania counties take up an entire judicial district. Allegheny County is the 5th judicial district. Under the words Notice of Appeal, the form states, notice is given that the appellant has filed in the above Court of Common Pleas an appeal from the judgment rendered by the magisterial district judge on the date and in the case referenced below. So we know that this form is designed to make sure that all the other parties to the case, the ones other than the appellant, know that the appellant is appealing the case. In Section 1 of the form, the appellant fills in their own name. In Section 2, the appellant fills in the magisterial district number, which can be found on the notice of judgment/transcript from Magistrate's Court. In Section 3, the appellant fills in the magisterial district judge's name, which can also be found on that notice. The appellant uses Section 4 to fill in their own address, and Section 5 to fill in the date of judgment, which can be found on the notice of judgment. Section 6 and 7 show the names of the parties to the case. In the case of 6 is the area where the appellant fills in the plaintiff's name, versus 7 is the area where the appellant fills in the defendant's name. Whoever was the plaintiff in Magistrate's Court will still be the plaintiff after the appeal is filed in Court of Common Pleas. Whoever was the defendant in Magistrate's Court will still be the defendant after the appeal is filed in Court of Common Pleas. This is because either a plaintiff or a defendant may appeal a judgment. In Section 8 of this half of the form, the appellant fills in the Magisterial District Court docket number. That's the case number, and it is on the notice of judgment. Finally, in Section 9, the appellant signs their name. Underneath Section 9, there is a very important deadline, and plaintiffs need to be aware of it. If the appellant was claimant, meaning plaintiff, see Pennsylvania Rule of Civil Procedure for Magisterial District Judges number 1016. In action before a magisterial district judge, a complaint must be filed within 20 days after filing the notice of appeal. So if the appellant is a defendant, the appellant does not need to file a complaint, of course. But if the appellant is a plaintiff, the plaintiff needs to file a complaint. And the plaintiff has to do so within 20 days after they file the notice of appeal. That is why it can be a good idea for a plaintiff to file the notice of appeal and the complaint at the same time. If the plaintiff decides to do that, however, the plaintiff must be careful to file the notice of appeal within the 30-day deadline after the magisterial district judge's judgment. Here is the bottom half of the notice of appeal form. If the appellant is a defendant, then the appellant must fill this in. A plaintiff does not fill this in. A plaintiff who is an appellee needs to read this carefully when they receive the notice of appeal. This part of the notice of appeal has its own title. It is called Precipe to Enter Rule to File Complaint and Rule to File. Precipe to Prothonotary. Enter rule upon, and in section 1, the appellant writes the name of the appellee, or appellees, if there is more than one. To file a complaint in this appeal, common pleas number, so in section 2, the appellant fills in the number for the common pleas case that it gets assigned by the Court of Common Pleas. Within 20 days after service, or suffer entry of judgment of non-pros. In section 3, the appellant signs their name. To learn more about entry of judgment of non-pros, consult the Pennsylvania Rules of Civil Procedure. For assistance in locating the rule that you need to review, feel free to contact the Allegheny County Law Library. Section 4 of this form is addressed to the appellee. So the appellant fills in the name of the appellee or appellees if there's more than one. Rule to appellees. 1. You are notified that a rule is hereby entered upon you to file a complaint in this appeal within 20 days after the date of service of this rule upon you by personal service or by certified or registered mail. 2. If you do not file a complaint within this time, a judgment of non-pros may be entered against you. 3. The date of service of this rule, if service was by mail, is the date of the mailing. And in section 5, you fill in the date that you are filing the notice of appeal form. There's a signature line that you will leave blank because the prothonotary or someone else who is employed by the prothonotary's office or the Department of Court Records will sign there. Plaintiffs need to pay special attention to items 1, 2, and 3. Plaintiffs and defendants must both pay attention to the information under the space for the prothonotary's signature because it applies when a plaintiff is a defendant and it applies when a defendant is when a plaintiff is an appellant, and it applies when the defendant is an appellant. You must include a copy of the notice of judgment/transcript form with this notice of appeal. The appellee and the magistrate district judge in whose office the judgment was rendered must be served with a copy of this notice pursuant to Pennsylvania Rule of Civil Procedure for Magisterial District Judges 1005A. The courts. A magisterial district court, or MDC in Pennsylvania, has jurisdiction to hear civil lawsuits where the amount in controversy is not more than $12,000, excluding interest and court fees. If the MDC is in Allegheny County, appeals from a decision of the magisterial district judge, or MDJ, are heard in the Civil Division of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. These appeals are normally put on the arbitration docket of the Civil Division, so people often say that the case is in arbitration. The ACLL can help you find more information about arbitration. Now we will discuss filing and serving legal documents. Filing a document or form in a court case means delivering it to the Department of Court Records in the City-County building in downtown Pittsburgh. Serving a document means delivering it or arranging for its delivery to the other parties in the case. Caution: the rules of court require different manners of service for different documents. It may be all right to serve one type of document by regular first class United States mail. For another document, the rule may require you to serve by certified mail or even by personal delivery. Always check the rules of court to find out how to serve your documents. ACLL staff can help you locate information in the rules. Contact information for the ACLL is at the end of this presentation. As I explained before, the Department of Court Records is located in the City-County building, located at 414 Grant Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania 15219. The Department of Court Records is on the main floor. Here is a map. The red marker shows the entrance to the City-County building on Grant Street. Serving the notice of appeal and/or the complaint. When you file a notice of appeal at the Department of Court Records, you will need to address some envelopes. The Department of Court Records provides the envelopes and is responsible for mailing them. Look at the box on the left side of this screen. It tells us that plaintiff appellants address envelopes to all of the defendants and all of the plaintiffs, if the appellant was not the only plaintiff in the magisterial district court case, and to the magisterial district judge. Defendant appellants address envelopes to all the plaintiffs and all the defendants if the appellant was not the only defendant in the magisterial district court case, and to the magisterial district judge, and they also address an envelope to themselves. You can find the addresses you need for the envelopes on the Notice of Judgment/transcript form from the magistrate and on the complaint form that the plaintiff filed at the magisterial district court. Let's review the information we've already learned about filing deadlines. All appellants, plaintiffs and defendants, are responsible for filing the notice of appeal in the Department of Court Records. And their deadline to do so is within 30 days after entry of judgment or judgment date in the magistrate's court. Plaintiffs also have responsibilities for filing complaints. When the plaintiff is the appellant, the plaintiff must file their complaint within 20 days after they filed the notice of appeal at the Department of Court Records. When the defendant is the appellant, the plaintiff is responsible for filing their complaint within 20 days after the defendant serves their notice of appeal and rule to file on the plaintiff. Pay attention to the information beside the red star at the bottom of this slide. The rules of court adjust deadlines whenever a deadline falls on a Saturday or Sunday or on a court holiday. ACLL staff can help you locate information about adjusted deadlines in the rules of court. ACLL staff can also help you locate the court calendar, or you can access it at www.alleghenycountycourts.us. This slide has the red star icon, so pay special attention here. The rules of court adjust deadlines whenever a deadline falls on a Saturday or Sunday or on a court holiday. ACLL staff can help you locate information about adjusted deadlines in the rules of court. ACLL staff can help you locate the court calendar, or you can access it at www.alleghenycourts.us. Frequently asked questions. What happens next? When the plaintiff files their complaint, the DCR will assign a hearing date. The plaintiff must serve a copy of the complaint and hearing date information on the defendant. What should I do if I miss a filing or serving deadline? ACLL staff can help you locate information in the rules of court. What should I do if another party misses a filing or serving deadline? ACL staff can help you locate information in the rules of court. What should I expect at my hearing? ACLL staff can help you locate information about arbitration hearings. Who are the ACLL staff and how do I find them? The ACLL staff are trained professional law librarians. The entire staff has a total of more than 100 years of legal research between them. How do you find us? You can contact us by visiting the Allegheny County Law Library in the City County Building at 414 Grant Street, room 921 in downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, zip code 15219. Or you can phone us at 412-350-5353 or email us at acll@duq.edu or visit our website www.acllib.org. We are open to the public 10 a.m. through 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, except on court holidays. We strongly recommend making an appointment in advance of your visit to receive individual assistance from a librarian. We hope you have found this presentation helpful.